So, what are we really eating? These foods probably look like something you eat all the time. You probably had no idea that all of these foods contain genetically modified organisms because they look normal to you. Well, these rats have grown these massive tumors after eating these GMO foods. We generally don't ever question what we're eating because we trust the FDA.
Only been tested over a 3-month period, and that in a test environment entirely controlled by Monsanto, its manufacturer.
An important fact is that all the studies carried out on the rats are done over a 3-month period. It so happens that none of the effects are visible until the 4th month.
But what is undeniable is that in the group that has been exposed to the GMOs, there is a 600% increase, or 6 times more deaths compared to the control group.
Clearly, there's an issue with our food industry if the government has approved something that has effects like this for us to eat. Luckily, there's a lot of options of places that you can buy organic food. Places like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Central Market are becoming more and more popular, and a lot of people shop here because they know they can trust them. Their food is certified organic, has no pesticides, and no additives. Consumers know there's no risks when shopping at places like this. Definitely no genetically modified organism.
So here at Whole Foods, all of our meat falls under three very strict standards. We don't use any antibiotics ever. We don't use any artificial hormones. No hormones are added to the meat. And they've got a 100% vegetarian diet.
We choose Whole Foods because I have an autoimmune issue, and eating things with GMOs and anything with any added hormones actually makes it worse and throws my whole body off, and I haven't had to take any medicine anymore. Feel really good, have a lot of energy, and so I just would never want to go back to eating the way that we used to.
Another place you can find trustworthy, wholesome, awesome food is at your local farmers markets.
I think people should buy food locally because it's kind of supporting this smaller circle of an economy that gets stronger locally.
I think it gives power back to the consumer. You get to make choices with the dollars that you use, and you don't have to depend on the mega companies. You're not eating for their corporate benefit. You're paying somebody who's making a decent wage, a decent living here in the United States. The produce is so fresh that the nutrients are better because the produce that you buy here is actually picked this morning.
A few local Austinites share their personal experiences with food.
Since my daughter is just 6 months old, I've really started considering what I eat myself since I'm breastfeeding her now, and just as she's growing up, I just want to make sure that I choose food that doesn't have food coloring dyes, artificial flavoring, artificial color. Since I have a choice now, I have Whole Foods, I'll have Trader Joe's, I have the resources available to me. I don't want to trust the government to my daughter's future and her health.
When my son was very young, he got really ill with salmonella that we were able to derive came from eggs that we bought at the store. The FDA no longer checks things the way they should. You know, they've dropped the amount of inspections they do on farms, so now salmonella is breaking through more. So he was so ill and so sick that we knew that we had to truly change everything. We just had to go completely organic. It's the best way we can go. No preservatives, no GMOs, Whole Foods all the way.
The consumers have spoken and the evidence is clear. It's time for change.
It's time for change.
It's time for change.
It's time for change.
It's time for change. Visit justlabelit.org because we have a right to know what's in our food.